Throughout human history, one thing has killed more people than all the wars and natural disasters combined: disease. Long before we understood germs or had modern medicine, invisible enemies swept across the globe, wiping out entire populations and reshaping civilizations. These weren't just sicknesses, they were apocalyptic events that left scars on our collective memory. Today, we're journeying back in time to uncover the chilling stories of the top 5 deadliest diseases in history. This is a story of fear, survival, and the incredible progress of science that allows us to live the lives we do today. Let's start our countdown at number 5. Cholera. Imagine a disease so aggressive it can take a perfectly healthy person and kill them within a matter of hours. That's cholera. This terrifying illness is caused by a bacterium, Vibrio cholerae, which thrives in contaminated water and food. When it infects a person, it triggers severe diarrhea and vomiting, leading to rapid dehydration and shock. Without treatment, the fatality rate can be over 50%. The first global cholera pandemic erupted in the early 19th century, starting in India and spreading along trade routes to the rest of the world. Since then, there have been 7 distinct cholera pandemics, claiming millions upon millions of lives. The disease hit hardest in crowded cities with poor sanitation, turning densely populated areas into death traps. Even today, cholera remains a significant threat in regions lacking access to clean water and proper health care. A stark reminder that basic infrastructure is one of our most powerful weapons against disease. Coming in at number 4 is a disease often called the silent killer: tuberculosis, or TB. Unlike the rapid onslaught of cholera, TB is a slow, creeping menace. Caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it typically attacks the lungs, leading to a chronic, bloody cough, fever, and wasting away of the body. For millennia, a diagnosis of TB, once known as consumption, was essentially a death sentence. It has been found in the remains of ancient Egyptians and has been a constant shadow over humanity for thousands of years. Before the discovery of antibiotics in the mid-20th century, the only treatment was to be sent to a sanatorium, a place for rest and fresh air, but with very little hope of a cure. While we now have effective drug treatments, TB is far from defeated. It still infects millions and kills over 1 million people every year, making it one of the deadliest infectious diseases in the modern world, especially with the rise of drug-resistant strains. Now for number 3. Smallpox. There are few diseases in history that have inspired as much terror as smallpox. Caused by the virus, it was incredibly contagious, spreading through the air or by touching contaminated objects. The symptoms were horrific. It began with a high fever and body aches, followed by a devastating rash that covered the entire body and fluid-filled pustules. Those who survived were often left with deep, disfiguring scars, and many were blinded. The fatality rate was around 30%, but it was even higher for certain strains. For centuries, smallpox ravaged civilizations across the globe. It's estimated to have killed up to 300 million people in the 20th century alone. But the story of smallpox is also one of humanity's greatest triumphs. Through a massive, coordinated global vaccination campaign led by the World Health Organization, the impossible was achieved. In 1980, smallpox was declared officially eradicated, the first and only human disease to be completely wiped from the face of the earth. It's a monumental achievement that proves what we can accomplish when the world works together. Our runner-up, at number 2, is the infamous Black Death. This was the bubonic plague pandemic that swept through Europe, Asia, and North Africa in the mid-14th century. The sheer scale of the devastation is almost impossible to comprehend. The plague is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, transmitted by fleas living on rats. Once infected victims developed large, painful swellings, called buboes, in their lymph nodes, followed by fever, chills, and often death within days. It is estimated that the Black Death killed between 75 and 200 million people, wiping out at least 1/3 of Europe's population in just a few years. The social and economic consequences were profound. Entire towns and villages were abandoned. Fear and paranoia were rampant, leading to social breakdown. The world was fundamentally changed. The Black Death didn't just disappear. It returned in smaller outbreaks for centuries, a constant, terrifying reminder of the plague's devastating power. And now, the number 1 deadliest disease in history, the 1918 flu pandemic, often known as the Spanish flu. while the Black Death may have had a higher mortality rate in a specific region. The 1918 flu was a truly global catastrophe in the modern era of travel. In just 2 years, from 1918 to 1920, it infected an estimated 500 million people, a third of the world's population at the time. The death toll was staggering, with estimates ranging from 50 to 100 million people. That's more than were killed in all of World War I, which was raging at the same time. In fact, the war helped the virus spread like wildfire as troops moved around the globe. What made this flu particularly terrifying was that it disproportionately killed healthy young adults, a group usually resilient to influenza. It overwhelmed hospitals and healthcare systems worldwide, leaving cities littered with the dead. The 1918 pandemic was a brutal lesson in how a novel virus can bring the entire world to its knees, a lesson that resonates with us even today. From the rapid horror of cholera to the global devastation of the 1918 flu, these 5 diseases represent the darkest chapters in our long battle for survival. They remind us of a time when humanity was incredibly vulnerable, at the mercy of invisible forces we couldn't understand or fight, but they also highlight our greatest strength: our ability to learn, to innovate, and to overcome. The development of vaccines, antibiotics, and our understanding of public health have given us tools our ancestors could only dream of. The stories of these plagues are not just tales of death. They are monuments to the progress of science and the resilience of the human spirit. Thanks for watching this journey into our past. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history and science. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you next time.